Okay. So there is a certain relationship between elasticity and revenue. That's between elasticity total revenue is equal to quantity times price. How is that related to elasticity? Well, elasticity is equal to percent change in quantity divided by percent change in price. So we have quantity and we have price. So they are both related. The total revenue is related to elasticity. How? Whenever, actually, never mind. So as this is an example, P1 equals $10, P2 equals $11, quantity 1 equals 10, quantity 2 equals 8. Percent change in price is equals to 10%. An increase of 10% in price. Percent change in quantity is equals to negative 20%. Elasticity is equal to negative 20 divided by 10 is equals to negative 2, and it's elastic. In this case, percent change in quantity is greater than percent change in price. Whenever demand is elastic, an increase in price will decrease total revenue. What this means is you are getting more per unit but you are selling less. So overall revenue goes down.
What does that say? Whenever demand is elastic,
What? Whenever demand is elastic, it's just an equal mark. It's just like an arrow that looks like that.
increase in price.
Whenever demand is elastic, an increase in price will decrease total revenue. Whenever demand is elastic, an increase in price will a decrease in price will increase total revenue. Why? Because impact of quantity sold is greater than impact of decrease in price. As price decreases, sales have potential to expand rapidly. That's why total revenue increases. So this was an example of elastic, right? Meaning that when price changes, quantity demand will change. It will be very responsive. So these are the two rules containing elasticity. That whenever demand is elastic, an increase in price will decrease total revenue. Think about it. When price will increase, and public is elastic about it, public is responsive about it, they will buy less. So even though you're making more per unit, you're selling less because people are elastic, are responsive to the increase in price. You're selling way less now, so in general your revenue will go down. When your demand is elastic and price decreases, people are very responsive, and hence your total revenue actually goes up. Why? Because when price decreases, even though you're making less per unit, you're selling so much of the product that it adds up and your total revenue goes up, even though you're making less per unit. You're selling more quantities because the people are more responsive to the lower price. They want to buy your cheaper product and more people buy it, and that's why your total revenue goes up. Whenever demand is inelastic, meaning not responsive, an increase in price increases total revenue. Whenever demand is inelastic, a decrease in price will decrease total revenue. So when people are not responsive to changes in price, meaning they don't care if the price are increasing or decreasing, a change in price won't really make that much of a difference in their buying habits. So if demand is inelastic and price goes up, total revenue will go up because same amount of people are still buying the product they were buying before. If people are inelastic and price goes down, total revenue will go down because the same amount of people are still buying the product they were buying before. Why? Because same amount of people are still buying the product even after price change. So number of consumers have not changed. Have not changed.
Professor, what is the meaning of the square? We put it up.
What?
The meaning-
Number,
Oh, yeah.
number, it's a sign for number. Like this means,
Yeah.
what do you call this? Hashtag, yeah, like, or, for me, this is like number, short form for number. Number of consumers have not changed.
No. I didn't know that.
When you are inelastic, when the demand curve is inelastic, then the change in price is greater than change in quantity. Percent change in price is greater than percent change in quantity.
Percent change in quantity.
Meaning when you're inelastic, the change in prices are greater and quantity is really not changing. Same people were buying before the price changed, same people are buying after the price change. So percent change in quantity demand did not change. If a firm wants to decrease price, they would want quantity demand to be elastic so they can sell more quantities and make more profit. Okay, so now the final rule. So these are the 4 rules. This is the 5th one. If whenever demand is unit elastic, any change in price does not impact total revenue. Okay, let's do some examples. Is it elastic, inelastic, unit elastic, or indeterminate? So this is an example. First one. A firm increases price by $5, quantity demand falls by 10%. So elasticity formula says percent change in quantity, demand, divided by percent change in price, right? So how do we know if this is elastic, inelastic, or unit elastic? We know percent change in price was 10%. We know percent change in quantity, demand was negative 10% because it falls by 10%. What about percent change in price? What's that? Is it $5? A firm increases price by $5. Percent change in price is not $5. Percent change in price is P2 minus P1 divided by P1. Here we're only giving, firm increases price by $5. We're only given P2, we're not given P1, so we don't know the percent change in price. So this one is indeterminate. Next one. Firm increases price by increases price by $5. Total revenue falls by 10%. What is it? Elastic, inelastic, or unit elastic, or indeterminate? Check out the rules that I just gave you. Now we're talking about change in price and change in total revenue. If price increases and total revenue is decreasing, the rule says that it is elastic. That change in price really affected the revenue, that it was elastic, that increase in price made a difference and consumers